down to sleep. I pray the Lord put my shoulders heat.
You're fine.
This little girl had something strange moving violently in her tummy. Her mother immediately called the police. This is the story of Marie, this little 9-year-old doll with big, bright, innocent eyes. It breaks your heart to see her tears every time she has to spend time with her father. It's a common thing when parents are separated, isn't it? But this is different. Marie hates the drive to his house. She's always playing with that old doll, Rosie, whom she says is her protector. And every time, just before arriving at her father's house, she holds Rosie close and whispers something in her ear. Her mother always found this strange, but thought it was just a child's trick. One evening, after a stay at Dad's, the situation went up a notch. Imagine the scene. Marie in the middle of the living room, her hand on her stomach, screaming as if possessed. Her cheeks reddened with tears, her face contorted with pain. Her mother, panicked, called a neighbor for help, but nothing seemed to work. The thing was, it wasn't just a stomachache, no. It was as if her belly was living its own life. You see, Marie ended up collapsing on the floor in pain, her breath short, Rosie the doll at her side. The creepiest thing of all, Rosie's eyes were wide, as if she'd just seen a ghost. And what Marie whispered next will shock you. Follow me and find out what happened next in part 2. This little girl had something strange moving violently in her tummy. Her mother immediately called the police. Part 2. After the terrifying incident in the living room, Marie's father immediately came to fetch his daughter. Despite the differences with his wife at the time, Marie's well-being was the priority for both parents. In the car, Marie, pale as a sheet, was still clutching Rosie, her little fingers trembling. Her father was casting worried glances in the rearview mirror. He knew he had to do something, but what? Arriving at the hospital, Marie was immediately taken care of. Nurses ran. Doctors whispered. For hours, the only sounds to be heard were the clatter of machines and worried murmurs. The tension is palpable. Her mother is in tears, blaming herself for leaving Marie with her father. But then the diagnosis comes, and everything becomes clear. In 1 week at her father's, Marie had swallowed an explosive cocktail of junk food, mainly Coca-Cola and McDonald's. At her mother's, it was all the same. At her mother's, it was just the opposite. A healthy, balanced diet, fresh vegetables, lots of water. The mixture of the two had created chaos. In the little one's stomach, poor thing. But what really froze everyone's blood was what Marie whispered to Rosie in the car. "I knew you'd protect me, Rosie. He's the one who made me eat all this." And Rosie, her old doll, seemed to smile back at her. Like and follow me if you like this story.